Maybe we should just start messaging Nike, Instagram, and putting some pressure.
Aryna Sabalenka stood at the WTA Finals podium in Riyadh last November and made an unusual appeal to her fans, urging them on camera to flood Nike's Instagram with messages until the company designed a better dress for her.
Nike, happy to be part of the Nike, but so many things
The world number one had reached the point of publicly asking fans to help fight her wardrobe battle. As Aryna Sabalenka appealed to supporters to pressure Nike for better apparel, the company was quietly working on something very different behind the scenes. Thousands of miles away, Nike's designers were handcrafting a symbolic gift for a 21-year-old from Manila ranked number 28 in the world. Her name was Alex Eala. Tucked inside the package was a handwritten note attached to a custom hair tie featuring Tagalog poetry, a gesture that immediately caught the attention of fans and hinted at where the brand's focus was shifting. That raised an intriguing question. If Sabalenka's Nike contract truly expires at the end of the year, does she stay and wait for the redesigned 2027 collection she was promised on camera in Riyadh? Or does she follow the path of Emma Raducanu and explore a different future? Just 9 days earlier, Eala had walked off center court after a hard-fought fourth-round loss to Jasmine Paolini at Wimbledon, falling 4-6, 6-4, 3-6. 3 days later, she returned home to Manila, where she received a hero's welcome. On July 13th, she was honored at Malacanang Palace by the President of the Philippines, not simply as a tennis player, but as a national figure whose achievements had inspired the country. That was the backdrop for Nike's next move. To understand why it resonated so strongly, rewind to November 8, 2025. During the post-final press conference at the WTA Finals in Riyadh, a reporter asked Sabalenka about the cutout dress she had been wearing, the same design fans had already seen throughout the US Open, Cincinnati, and Roland Garros. Her response, delivered in her own words,
Maybe we should just start messaging Nike, Instagram, and putting some pressure.
Maybe we should all start messaging Nike on Instagram and put a little pressure on them, Aryna Sabalenka joked at the WTA Finals. But let's wait for 2027, because that year is going to be sick. Read that quote carefully. The world number one, a 3-time Grand Slam champion, was openly telling fans that she wasn't excited about her current apparel and was asking them to pressure her own sponsor. Whether said playfully or not, it revealed frustration with Nike's tennis lineup. 6 months later, the conversation only intensified. At Roland Garros, Sabalenka debuted a custom black and red mesh dress. Soon afterward, fans noticed the same design being worn by another Nike-sponsored player, raising questions about exclusivity and Nike's approach to its tennis apparel. While that discussion unfolded, something very different was happening across the Pacific. On February 26 and 27, 2026, Nike invited Alex Eala, then ranked outside the world's top 40, to its global headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. She received a private campus tour, met with members of the Nike team, and was featured on the company's global social media channels with a caption written in Tagalog, "Salamat sa pagbisita." Thank you for visiting. It was a small detail with a powerful message. Months earlier, at Wimbledon 2025, Eala had walked onto center court wearing a custom white hair accessory inspired by the Sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. Designed to fit Wimbledon's all-white dress code, it came with a handwritten Nike note featuring a Filipino proverb, "Kung ano ang iyong itinanim, siya mong anahin." What you plant today, you will one day reap. That wasn't a generic marketing slogan. It was a global company embracing the language, culture, and symbolism of the athlete it was supporting. For many Filipino fans, that moment felt deeply personal. It suggested Nike wasn't simply sponsoring Alex Eala, it was investing in her story. Industry reporting later added more context. A Yahoo Sports report indicated that Naomi Osaka remained Nike's only tennis player with guaranteed full fashion exclusivity, while other athletes, including Sabalenka, operated under different contract terms. The report also suggested Nike planned to expand its premium apparel strategy in the coming years. When viewed together, the timeline becomes fascinating. November 2025, Sabalenka publicly jokes about fans pressuring Nike. February 2026, Nike welcomes Alex Eala to its Oregon headquarters with Tagalog messaging. Spring 2026, debate grows over Nike's tennis apparel strategy. July 2026, Eala receives another custom Nike piece featuring Tagalog embroidery during Wimbledon, while her signature pink outfit reportedly sells out rapidly in the Philippines. Two athletes. Two very different narratives. Sports Illustrated's Serve Desk summed up Nike's tennis fashion direction in late 2025 by arguing that, outside of Naomi Osaka, the company's tennis apparel had become increasingly uninspired compared with previous eras led by Serena Williams and Rafael Nadal. Since then, however, Nike appears to have expanded its storytelling not simply through rankings or Grand Slam titles, but through culture and identity. Alex Eala represents more than a rising tennis player. She represents the Philippines, a nation of more than 100 million people with one of the world's largest overseas diasporas and a rapidly growing interest in tennis. From a marketing perspective, that creates opportunities extending beyond the court. Meanwhile, Sabalenka remains one of the sport's biggest stars and one of Nike's most recognizable athletes. Any future decisions regarding her sponsorship will ultimately depend on contract negotiations, brand strategy, and both parties' priorities. The next stretch of the season could prove especially revealing. The Mubadala City DC Open begins on July 25th, followed by the Canadian Open, Cincinnati, and the US Open. Every new Nike outfit worn by its top players will be analyzed by fans, media, and the tennis community alike. One thing is already clear: Alex Eala's rise has been built on resilience. After falling short in the Eastbourne final, she wrote on Instagram, "This has to be one of the toughest losses of my early career, but I firmly believe that it's these moments that make you stronger and shape your character." Weeks later, she produced the biggest Grand Slam run of her career before returning home to a hero's welcome in Manila, where she was honored at Malacanang Palace by the President of the Philippines. Those moments illustrate why her story has captured attention far beyond tennis. Nike's recent gestures toward Eala suggest a brand investing in an athlete whose appeal combines performance, culture, and national pride. At the same time, Sabalenka remains a central figure in Nike's tennis roster and one of the game's premier competitors. Whether Nike's future strategy emphasizes rankings, cultural storytelling, or a balance of both is something only time will reveal. As the North American hardcourt season begins, every appearance, every outfit, and every sponsorship decision will be watched closely. The branding battle may be just getting started.